So, is this the future of how we build software, or is it just a total disaster waiting to happen? Today, we are diving deep into one of the most exciting and, yeah, one of the most controversial topics in tech right now, vibe coding. Okay, get a load of this quote, because it really captures the whole revolution in a nutshell. Forget everything you know about coding. All you need is a good idea and the ability to describe it clearly. I mean, that sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, let's find out what's really going on. All right, so first things first. What in the world is vibe coding? At its heart, vibe coding is all about guiding an AI assistant to do the heavy lifting, to generate, to refine, and even to debug an entire application. So instead of you sitting there writing code line by line, you're basically just having a conversation, using plain English to bring your big ideas to life. Now, the term itself was actually coined by AI researcher Andrej Karpathy, and his description is just brilliantly honest. He says, I accept all, always. I don't read the diffs anymore, and, diffs are just the highlighted changes between code versions. It's not really coding, I just see stuff, say stuff, run stuff, and it mostly works. That right there, that captures the raw, super fast, and maybe slightly chaotic energy of this whole thing. And that mostly works philosophy, well, it has a huge upside. Which brings us to its incredible promise. Just unbelievable speed. So why is everybody talking about this? Well, as you can see, the benefits are kind of mind-blowing. We're talking about building entire applications in hours, not weeks, just by having a conversation instead of fighting with complex syntax. This is huge because it empowers people who aren't developers to create real products, deploy them instantly, and even learn as they go with the AI guiding them. And this is not just a trend for hobbyists, okay? This is happening right in the heart of Silicon Valley. A recent group of startups from Y Combinator revealed that a staggering 25% of them have code bases that are almost entirely AI-generated. Just let that sink in. Entire companies are being built on this foundation as we speak. And this crazy fast development is being fueled by a whole new ecosystem of tools. You've got platforms like Replit for building an app from start to finish. You've got AI-native code editors like Cursor that work right inside a developer's existing setup, and even tools like Lovable that can whip up a user interface from just a simple text description. The tools are here, and they're getting scarily powerful every single day. Okay, but with all this speed, with all this power, there has to be a pretty significant risk, right? And that brings us to the dark side, the peril of what a lot of people are calling brittle code. I mean, it all sounds amazing, but you have to be asking yourself, so what's the catch? Veteran developer Adi Osmani put it perfectly. He warns that with his new power, 2 engineers can now create the tech debt of 50. And tech debt is basically the future cost of fixing sloppy work you do today. So that's a powerful and, frankly, a pretty terrifying idea. And that quote brilliantly illustrates the core danger here. If you're not careful, unchecked AI-generated code can create a house of cards. Code that looks totally complete, it functions on the surface, but the second you put it under real-world pressure or try to change one little thing, the whole thing just collapses. Let's really break down those risks. First, you've got huge security vulnerabilities, where an AI can just accidentally introduce major flaws that slip right past a quick review. Then you have that massive technical debt, where all these quick fixes pile up and make the code absolutely impossible to maintain later. And then there's this idea of diffused responsibility. I mean, when the AI-generated code inevitably fails, who's actually on the hook for it? And finally, maybe the scariest one is the risk of de-skilling, where over-relying on AI just erodes deep programming expertise over time. So here's the crucial point. We're really talking about 2 completely different lanes of development. Vibe coding. It's a learning engine. It's all about speed and getting feedback as fast as possible. On the other hand, traditional enterprise engineering is a longevity engine. It's about creating a secure, maintainable system that can last for years. The real danger happens when we start to confuse the two. So, how do we get the best of both worlds? This is where we need to start building a bridge between all those good vibes and some good old-fashioned discipline. And, the key mindset shift is actually simple, but it is so powerful. Treat the AI like a super speedy but junior developer on your team. Think of it like an eager intern. It's going to get a ton of work done really fast, but it absolutely needs supervision, review, and guidance from someone with real experience. This mindset lets you build a really practical, structured process. You start with a Vibe prototype, get an idea validated in just a few days. Then, you move to a pilot-ready version, adding in some basic security and tests for a small release. And finally, you enter the enterprise hardening phase, building out the real architecture, full security, and making sure someone actually owns it. It's a deliberate, step-by-step process. And we can boil all this down to a few core rules to do this well. Rule 1, always, and I mean always, review AI-generated code. No exceptions. Rule 2, you still own the architecture. The AI is an accelerator, not an autopilot. Rule 3, test, test, and test again. AI is not magic, it doesn't guarantee correctness. Rule 4, refactor the AI's work to meet your team's quality standards. And finally, Rule 5, know when to just say no. For the most critical parts of your system, good old manual coding is still often the safest bet. So, what does this all mean for the future? Well, it points to a brand new kind of partnership. Human plus AI. Let's be crystal clear about this. Vibe coding is not an excuse to ship low-quality work. The goal here is not to replace human developers. The goal is to augment them, to make them more powerful, more creative, and way more productive. The most effective teams, the ones that are really going to thrive, will be the ones that learn to co-create with AI. You let it handle all the repetitive, boring stuff at super high speed, while the humans, we get to handle the creative and the critical thinking. It's about combining the best of machine speed with human wisdom. And that leaves us with one last fascinating question to chew on. As AI writes more and more of the actual code, will the single most valuable human skill become simply knowing how to ask the right questions?